What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. I'm Craig. We're going to be going over the markets. Is now the time to get the hell out of the markets for good, or do we have one more push up? We're going to talk about that. As you guys know, I've been warning for a long time that when this thing comes down, I believe it's going to come down extremely hard. Could it be a long drawn out process? Very possible. Or it could just be very quick, very hard. And by very quick, I mean 8 months to a year to the downside. By a long time frame, it could be a few years before the downside. But I want to put this warning out there. Please pay attention, make your own decisions. But we're going to take a look at when the Dow Jones topped back in 2008. And I know a lot of people are talking about a crash like 2008, but I have always talked about the biggest money grab in history. I think this will be our hugest opportunity of our lifetime, and I'm going to show you how, where, and why I believe this to be true. Remember, none of this is financial advice, but please pay attention. We're going to also talk about Bitcoin, where that's going at the end of the video. Definitely stick around for the whole video. Make sure you guys share the video, smash that thumbs up, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I think huge things are coming for the markets, and I know a lot of people talk about gold and silver being the safe haven, but technically, after the markets top, okay, let's talk about one more thing real quick before we get started. Let's talk about the election, right? So everybody says it's the election year. They're going to pump it till the election. I have not been a believer in that, right? So people think they're safe to the election, till the election. In 2008, the market actually topped in 2007 in October. The gold and silver, everything else topped in about February or March of 2008. So that was the fear trade, right? And it goes up. Let's talk about it. Let's look at the 10-year yield first, right? Let's take a look at the 10-year yield back in 2008. You can see it broke this trend line and it topped back out, retested the trend line in October of 07, and then we had our huge downfall, right? Let's look at where we're at now. So we just broke up, right? Right past this little trend line here. Our next trend line, this could be where it tops out, right? Let's say it happens any minute, right? So this was in October when the Dow crashed, when it retested that trend line. Do we get up to this level right here and see a major reversal with the markets crashing? We are in October, so keep that in mind. If we break up and out of this, what's our measured move there? Let's take a measured move of that. This is also what to watch for, right? That would get us somewhere in the 5.6 range for the top. But let's watch this 414, right? Unless we break back below this, then the markets could rise. And this lies right around 416. Now, let's take a look at the Dow Jones. So the Dow Jones was in this little rising wedge here. The target of that is 40,450. That's where I'm looking for it to go, unless, of course, we break back up inside this and break back above the 43.1, right? But looking at the bigger picture, what I've been talking about, of course, there is a possibility of one more push up. We're still in October, right? So if we did, we would be looking somewhere in the 44.5 range, somewhere in this area. This is a ascending trend line, so it's wherever that may hit, right? And why is that? Because I'm looking for an ending fifth wave diagonal here, and then a major downfall after that. And I think it'll be bigger than 2008. No guarantees there, but I think it's going to be pretty massive, guys. And what happens when the markets top? Let's look at the Dow Jones way back in 2008. Right here, it topped out in, let's get this, topped out in October of 2007, right? That was an election year, 2008. And you'll see when it really, this was right after election here, we had this drop, we had a pump up, and then a continuation to the downside. It bottomed here for the bounce around January 8th, right? Making sense now? So, anyways, if this does happen, right, we have a lot of downside to go. This was 2008, mind you. And again, I think this is going to be a lot worse, and I'll show you in the charts. But everything else went up a little bit longer, like gold and everything else. So this is, if we do get up here, mind you, we could be topped out right now in the Dow. It really doesn't matter because I do believe this is what's coming. This is going to be huge. This is going to be the biggest opportunity of our lifetime, right? This was 1929. It dropped from September of 29 all the way to 32. So that was a 3-year downfall, guys. If that happens again, we are going to have the biggest opportunity of our lifetime. The people up here are going to be stuck and broke because if you look, it took from what, 1929 all the way to 1954. 1954. It took about 25 years just to get back to there. So, taking a look at gold. So, looking back at 2008, when did gold top? Whoops, where was that here? Where are we at? 2008. 2008, right here. Gold topped in March of 2008. So, look for February or March for gold to possibly get up to this 31.6 within the next few months, right? And then a huge collapse after. But again, there's nothing to say we haven't topped out already. But all this would be, even if it did get up to this 31, right? This would be a fifth wave. We have our 1 wave, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could be finished, if not up to here, but it really doesn't matter because I do believe there's going to be a massive buying opportunity in the next years to come, right? Silver, same thing. Here was, when did silver top? Remember, Dow topped in October 07. March of 08, same thing. You had that rally up. And what happens in those couple months while the market was coming down for the Dow Jones, people were starting to lose money. And then they get to a point, they got to cover their losses. And that's when gold, silver, and everything else dump. Usually takes a couple months before they realize the downside is not stopping. So be careful, guys. Before we get into Bitcoin, if you guys are interested in trading, check out Prime XBT. I have a link down below. Awesome exchange. You could trade crypto, Forex, gold, silver, everything, all from one exchange. You can use my promo code. I'm sorry, there's no promo code, but watch this video up here. The promo code Savvy, you don't have to use that anymore. All you have to do is click on the link down below. It'll bring you to this. You can get a 20% deposit bonus up to $7,000. Also, you can get 20% off your 25% off your trading fees. Okay, let's take a look at what's going on here. So I told you guys I had put a short in at 68 or yeah, 68,350, right? Told you to watch this trend line. We're going to take a closer look at that, guys, but I do believe unless we can get above this trend line, open and close a daily above it, way more downside is coming in my opinion. Way more downside, guys. I can't stress enough how much downside we could have coming. I know that sounds crazy, but what we're going to do, let's look at our next areas of support, right? Let's just put on a Fibonacci retracement. We'll go from this low here at 52.4, right? What are the areas to bounce? 65,428, 62,950, 60.9, and then our golden pocket zone about 58.9. These are areas to look for bounces. It may just bounce around in here, and I'll draw this line, something like this. Maybe come up, come back down, bounce around in here for a while, right? And then just continue. These fibs do wonders for trading. If you're trading without fibs, I do suggest you, maybe I'll make a training video on how to use fibs. But anyways, now let's take a look at this. This is the 4 hour. You guys are seeing all these breakout patterns, right? That Bitcoin broke out of this. It has not. I have always and will continue using just the wicks, right? We had a top rejection. We had a rejection here. I consider this a bull trap. Look, it couldn't even close open or close above this trend line in the 4-hour. And then we go to the daily, right? Let's put it on the daily. Mind you, these are literally on the wicks, right? The daily could not open and close on here, or above here, I'm sorry. Let's take a look at the weekly. There's that breakout everybody's showing. They're putting their lines down here, right? But as of right now, we have not been able to get above and stay above this trend line. Now let's take a look at the monthly. This is interesting. The monthly hit exactly all these wicks, guys. There has been no breakout. If we get above this, right, we could have a breakout. If we get above this 69,475. But honestly, I think we'll probably close the month somewhere down in here below 63,269, just for another lower low in the closings, right? But the only way I see in this going up is breaking this trend line. And currently the trend line is at 69.5. Next month, the trend line will be at 68.9. Be careful out there, guys. Don't get sucked into the madness, because you could be getting trapped on the top. And why I say that right here, right? This is the Amazon.com bubble. It doesn't matter what, it could be pet rock, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's showing you how the markets work. You have your high here, just like you had your high here, right? Then you had your three tops, just barely getting above each other, right? Same thing we have here. If this does continue like I believe, and we do have the market crash, guys, I still have a target down as low as 3,500, somewhere in between 3,500 and 9,700. And for those of you that are listening to the people saying that's impossible, they also said back here, right? Back here, when I was calling low under 20,000, right? Look what we did, under 20,000. I thought we'd go lower there, but because I was reading this wrong. I was looking at these tops as this whole thing, but now that it's formed and I can really take a look at it, you can see I still believe we're getting down there. So nevertheless, I've been saying you're buying opportunities down at these levels. I still believe that to be true, unless we make a new high here. But even if we make a new high here, remember, I've been showing you guys this right here, 75 to 8,500. If we happen to be in schematic number 2, right? You can see it here. Do you see the resemblance there, right? I've been talking about this as a possibility, but of course we have to break this high first. If we break the high at 73.8, I'm looking for 75 to 84. Either way, this thing is coming down in a big way. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. But I've not budged a bit on my analysis at all. You see these guys flip-flop, bullish to bearish to bullish to bearish. Everyone's counting on this 4-year cycle. But again, everyone was counting on markets continuing to rise until the big day. But the big day is in another week or so, and we've already started the downtrend, in my opinion. So be careful out there, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm seriously want to hear from you guys what you think. So make sure you comment below. Let me know what you, that way I'll know you till you watch to the end of the video also. But that way I know what other people are thinking. Share your ideas. I'll, if you want me to look at something else in a different way, leave it down there. I will be reading all the comments, going through them, and looking for suggestions on what to look for and what your theories are. So again, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. I'm out.